Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody.
Welcome back. Today, we're doing conversation number
15.
15. And today, we're going to be talking about a very mysterious case. I heard about this case from Dave Paulides, the missing 411. He mentioned it about just briefly. It wasn't nothing specific. But so today we're going to talk about Kenny Veach.
More specifically, the M Cave.
The M Cave.
Yeah.
So Kenny, I want to talk about first about Kenny because Kenny's the one that discovered the M Cave and he's the one that this is really based on. So Kenny Veach was 47 years old at the time and he is from Las Vegas, Nevada. And his personality was just so like he was an awesome dude,
a really sweet lad.
Yeah, and he has a channel and you can see his videos there, and he did leave a video of him trying to search for the M Cave. But I do want to talk about his personality because in the videos you can see his personality more. He was a very charismatic guy. He considered himself an artist, an adventurer, and an inventor. And that's what he always would say in his videos. That's what I consider myself. And he was definitely very creative.
Super creative.
Yes. Yeah. He had a vibrant, neat personality, and he loved hiking, and he loved collecting items from his hikes and bringing them back home and adding them to his hiking collection. He also would create like home decor with it, which was amazing. And he always would emphasize that every item in his house had a story to tell. So, which he kind of would talk a little bit about it in one of he has a lengthy video where he shows his home and he talks about items that he bought, and they're super cute, like the stuff that he has. And so the way he would talk about it was that he would think about an idea and he would just bring it to life with just his thoughts. He wouldn't write anything down. He wouldn't try to find out how to do it. Like he would just do it from his own like ideas. And the stuff that he was trying to sell too was super cute.
I mean, he was a super creative lad. You know, I feel like super creative, bro. Definitely an artist.
There was this I guess he was trying to like start up his own business, and he had these items that he created himself, and he was trying to get them out there and try to sell them. And I would have definitely bought a lot of those items.
He had some pretty cool stuff.
He was very, very creative with them too. And it was like natural things that he could create, just like a whistle, and then a shirt that he made.
Yeah.
And this glowy teddy bear that was super cute. I was like, oh, I would totally buy that for my daughter.
Yeah.
And what else?
And then just like this thing, right? Like
this really cool thing
with the medallion that he like drilled and like
and then I like the thing where he was like swinging it and it would make like a loud noise. That was super cool.
Super creative guy, man.
So that's who he was. He was just a very sweet person, and I could totally tell
super easygoing.
Yeah, I could totally tell that I would get along with him. And
he just seemed like that type of person, right? That anyone can get along with. Yeah, for sure.
He was kind. He was a kind-hearted person. So Eileen's gonna talk more about what happened, the details of the story.
So, like we mentioned, Kenny liked to hike. Like that was his thing. You know, he would hike throughout like the Nevada desert a lot. So, you know, one day he set out to the Las Vegas desert in search for prior to this, he was searching for a cave, but prior to that, he had seen it, right?
Yeah.
And then he talked about it, that he discovered this cave, right? This hidden cave near the Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. And he described the cave as the shape of a capital M, you know, like a letter M.
Yeah.
And so he claimed that this cave was very narrow and to his height. So I guess it wasn't extremely tall, you know, it was just like above him.
Yeah. It was. He said it was as tall as he was.
Yeah, and it was pretty narrow as well. So, you know, it wasn't too wide. And he said the strange thing about the cave was that when he walked in closer inside the cave, he felt his body begin to feel like a vibrating sensation. And the closer he would go into this cave, the worse it would get. And he said it frightened him, so he decided to leave. You know, he got scared and he left. And he mentions that he would like to return to the cave later, but he would like to take his firearm and camera to find out what's inside. So he just wanted to be a little more prepared the second time around, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, so I guess his little like YouTube fan base and told him like, yeah, check out the cave again, you know, but yeah, like film it this time, you know.
Yeah.
We want to see, we're interested. So he did. In October of 2014, Kenny returns in search of the cave.
There you go.
He goes to search for the cave again, but he fails to find it. And then he posts the video of him hiking and looking for the cave on his YouTube account. So it's like a 20-something minute video of him like hiking throughout, and you know, you get a glimpse of what the terrain looks like. It's definitely not
it's
like
dry,
and it's not somewhere, there's no trails there, there's no road there.
It's very,
it's not an easy place to get to. And there's cliffs.
It's very rugged. And it's very,
and it gets tight at certain places. So
it requires climbing and you extensive walking.
Yeah, and you would need to know what you're doing too. You know what I mean? You would need to have it's long, dude. It's like hours. So you would need to know.
It would sometimes he said he would like be out there for days.
Yeah.
So he would camp out there sometimes and be.
So you definitely need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, like he would be out there.
So yeah, he didn't find it like we said, right? So he decides to he decides that like he wants to go again, right? And he comments, like I guess one comment in particular stood out to him, saying that like one of the users left a message to him on the YouTube telling him to not return to that cave because if he did, he wouldn't come back out, you know, and that was pretty sketchy. Like that was a pretty like
because a lot of people after he posted the video, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, we don't believe you, or you're just making this up." And then you know that you found this cave, and he was trying to prove a point that he did find it, and he said, "I'm gonna go back and show you guys, prove you guys wrong that I did find it." So, but yeah, like Eileen said, this person specifically had mentioned that, you know, hey, do you want to talk about what he said, or do you want me to say it?
I mean, you can say it.
So the person that sent him a message on YouTube told him to not go into that cave because he would not come out. So and Kenny, after this person wrote that, Kenny asked him, well, what makes you say that? Like, or how do you know that will happen? And that person never responded.
But I do recall like kind of reading about that, like that person who said that, and I think that person wasn't even from the US. They were like from Croatia. Yeah. Like from somewhere else, and they just sent him that message. But then they didn't respond. They didn't tell him why not.
They didn't respond to anybody. They didn't respond to Kenny. So they just pretty much thought that maybe this person would just wrote that or just said that without, you know, just to say it.
Yeah, just to say it.
So yeah, and that's that. We just thought that was really odd and weird.
Yeah. Because that was like basically like one of the only people who said, hey, don't go back. You know what I mean? Like,
and which everybody else was egging him on to go.
They were super encouraging.
Like, they were like, just go. We want to see it. We want to know what's going on. Make sure you record it, you know?
I know. So maybe you think he felt kind of the pressure there of going back?
I think so.
So on November 10, 2014, Kenny decides to go set out to find the cave again. And he told his family where he was going.
He told his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
after
because she told, so what happened was Kenny told his girlfriend, hey, I'm going to be going out on this expedition to find this cave. And it's going to take me about 3 days. Just, you know, you always tell someone where you're going, especially if you're going alone. Yeah. So after he did not return on the third day, then his girlfriend called the authorities and said, hey, my boyfriend's missing. He went out to this area and I need you guys to help me search for him, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
So they came to a conclusion that they just did not find him.
There was extensive search for him.
Yeah.
I think there was a helicopter that went out. There was people, there was police officers that were involved, and just, you know, search and rescue were out there trying to locate him. The only thing that was found in their search was his cell phone, and I heard that also like some coins were left in right beside this mine shaft where like laid on top of a rock, and that's where they found his cell phone. Nothing else was found. Neither Kenny nor his backpack, clothing, shoes, nothing, just that cell phone.
Yeah.
So they, you know, thought, hey, maybe he's fallen in the mine shaft, or something happened to him in there. So police officers sent in a camera to look around the mine shaft, and they didn't find any signs or anything that would suggest that he had been in there.
Yeah.
So till this day, he's still missing. He has not been found. I did want to talk about this section. I don't know if you want to add.
Okay, yeah. Like the thing I wanted to add to it was, like, you know, after this incident happened, a lot of, you know, him missing and not finding him, a lot of people would go on YouTube and provide theories like, oh, what if this happened to him, you know, and just like kind of throw out like ideas, you know, like what to do, what to search for, where to search, right?
Yeah.
And what else?
So his girlfriend, I wanted to talk about his girlfriend kind of responded to the people on YouTube, and she pretty much told them, you know, Kenny had been suffering through depression. He had his father commit suicide when he was 20 years old, and Kenny was the one that found him. So that affected him growing up. And so she pretty much said that he had been suffering depression and anxiety. And so she said that one day she decided to ask Kenny if he would ever commit suicide. And that he replied to her and said, you know, if I did, I wouldn't do it at home. I would do it out somewhere where nobody would ever find me. And so I thought that was pretty, I mean, that could be maybe what he was trying to do at the time. I mean, we don't know if he was trying to commit suicide, but it's a possibility. And so there's just been a lot of theories. The police also investigated his home. They did find some suicide searches in his computer, and they also found that he had typed into his computer, "help me."
Oh, wow.
Like about 3 times, I think, that he searched that.
Oh, wow.
Like, "help me." So that was, you know, that I think that was kind of telling too, that he was kind of pondering maybe the idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think, personally, my personal opinion, I don't think he would be a person that would commit suicide. Like, the way he seemed in his videos, he didn't seem like he was suicidal to me. Because think about it, like when he went out to the cave to go look for the cave, he took a gun with him to protect himself because he was scared.
Yeah.
So if you were suicidal, would you take a gun to try to protect yourself from whatever was in there?
That's a good question.
You know? He had plans for his home. He talked a lot about all these plans he had of continued to decorate his home and his backyard, build a pool, things like that. So I just find it like it doesn't seem. And then he told his girlfriend, I'll call you once I'm done, or I'll text you once I'm done from my hike, once I'm back.
So he had an intention.
He had an intention of returning, at what it seems like. On the other hand, he didn't take his camera with him the time he went missing, looking for the M cave. He did take a firearm. Like I said, it could be 1 or 2 where he either was taking it to protect himself or maybe taking it to commit suicide. Those, I feel like both of those
50-50 chance.
Yeah, I think that there could be a 50-50 chance. But if I could say out of my own personal opinion, and he just didn't seem like somebody that was ready to check out.
Okay.
Because he even had the whole plan of selling his home and then him being a caretaker, you know, taking care of the home for someone who would want to purchase it. So, you know, like it seemed to me like he still wanted to be there. So, I don't know. What do you think? What are some of your theories?
Like, just to get into?
Yeah.
Okay, well, as to what happened to him?
Yeah.
Right? Obviously. No, but I feel like a big one I thought about was like because of what the terrain looked like, I think that there's a high possibility that he could have gotten hurt and got stuck somewhere. And you know, he didn't have his phone to get help, and you know, he was probably stuck somewhere.
So
and they just couldn't find him, you know, because I mean there was cliffs and like just narrow areas there.
I know, but it was extensively searched. Don't you think they would have found like maybe some of his clothing?
Man, we don't know how extensive they be searching.
Some of them, what if they found like some of his clothes? They should have found bones.
Yeah.
His clothing, his
that's true.
Personal items.
Something.
Some of the police officers and other searchers said that if there was an animal attack, there would be signs of struggle somewhere, or maybe he would have shot the animal. He had a gun with him.
He did have a gun, you're right.
That's kind of maybe like not, maybe like an option. But it could be.
That's true. And then like for you to not find a body too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in I don't know, man. What?
And then also if he died from like natural causes, like let's say he was out there and he I don't know, ran out of food or water, it was too cold that night. I mean, if that happened, wouldn't they find a body?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, I feel like the most possible thing was like, you know, succumb to the elements, right? Like,
yeah, because he people knew, and he would talk about in his video that he wouldn't take a compass, he wouldn't take maps, he wouldn't take enough water, he wouldn't take food. So that's a possibility. But why haven't they found a body?
That's true.
You know, like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big one. Like if he got injured there, something happened.
I mean, wouldn't you want to like at least throw some stuff if you're stuck somewhere so people can at least see like, hey, maybe
because if you forgot
you're
your
getting
cell
closer.
Phone, yeah, like how else would you try to make it for people to find out that you're there? Other than
it's a very rural area too, so not a lot of people go out there. But ever since he disappeared, a few people started to go and hike out there to try to find him or find the cave.
And wouldn't you think that out of these people who go and hike and try to search for him, they find something?
Yeah, but it just depends. Like, I don't know. It's just so...
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
That nobody has found anything. It's just bizarre.
Okay. And then the other part, what if he was abducted?
I think that's a possibility too. You know, like, not gonna lie, I thought about aliens. I'm like, you know, you just don't know.
So
man.
Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51 are not that far from that area. So it's notorious that people see UFOs around that area. So that's a possibility. What about a human abduction?
I don't think a human abduction is possible.
I mean, but there would be evidence, right? There would be like rocks, like, you know, like some drag marks.
He would have dropped something.
Exactly.
But why was his phone laying there neatly? I don't know how I feel about that, man. I don't think it was a human abduction.
If he was killed, what if somebody killed him and then took him away?
Okay, like, wouldn't you find anything, man? Like we said, like
his backpack. Well, okay, if somebody found him and they killed him, they would bury him somewhere and
his stuff,
his items with him. But why
are you gonna leave the phone out there?
But the only thing is that they would find some sort of disturbance in the ground, right? Like some dig site.
And then that's far in. How do you bring a shovel in there? and
that's
dig a
true.
hole. Like, I mean, the terrain is rough.
You can't even bring a car in there.
Yeah, it's like
That's
we said,
crazy.
dude, it's rough terrain. You know what I mean?
So, one of the other things that I'm thinking might be a possibility. Maybe he did find the M cave.
It's a possibility.
And he went in there and he just never came back out. It could be maybe the M cave was a portal. Another dimension.
I don't know, man.
Maybe there was radiation in there. Maybe
I kind of don't feel like it falls into the other portal situation. I feel like it falls under more like some like,
What if it was like so what if it was a doorway to get to one of the bases?
Yeah, that's what I feel
That's
like
another possibility.
I feel like it was more of that.
Yeah, that you think that
you stumbled upon something you shouldn't have seen,
I know, but what can the bases be hiding that they would kill someone for?
Dude, I don't think they killed them. I think that they were just like, hey, you saw this, you're gonna have to work for us now because, Yeah,
but that's still not ethical of the government to do. Like, why would you take someone and just make him your worker, whatever, without his consent and without their family knowing? Like,
I think because they do that, man. Do they not?
I don't know. I mean, they do that like with who? What do you mean?
Like if you're working for like secret like.
Oh well, yeah, that's different.
Like that.
But I feel like you'd have to have training. Like they can't just pick some.
Yeah, but like okay, let's say you stumble upon something crazy. You think that they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, just go home and don't tell anybody. Like I don't think they're gonna do that. They
did for Bob Lazar.
I mean, because they didn't. I don't know, man. Because he worked there and they trusted him, right?
I don't know. It's very interesting. It's unfortunate that he was never found.
Yeah, that really is unfortunate.
And he was such a great person. Like he seemed like such a sweet person, and I am sorry that this happened to him and to his family, and I hope that he's one day is found.
Yeah.
Hopefully alive.
Yeah.
But if not, at least they'll have closure.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, the Nevada desert, it's very, very hard, and it has the weather there changes.
Yeah, it's like super hot.
The only time we went out there was to go see those, what are they called? The rocks.
The rocks.
When we went to Las Vegas.
Red rocks?
No, the big rocks, the colorful ones.
Oh yeah. The Seven Magic Mountain.
Yeah, so we went out there, and that day that we went out there, I mean, you can just tell like the ground it's like very,
I don't know how to
like powdery, and
it is,
and it was really windy, and it was just
super
hot.
Windy. I'm like, how can you be out here? It's like super windy. You can't see anything, and then apart from that, it's hot.
Yeah,
like you're out there.
So there's like it almost looked like a sandstorm when we went there.
Yeah, it did. It
but those rocks were amazing.
Yeah, they're super cool.
And yeah, so I can only imagine just not having anything to eat or drink out there.
And then you're walking for hours. Imagine how exhausted you feel.
Yeah, so if you guys have heard of Kenny,
or if you have any theories,
if you have any information, any theories,
we would like to know.
Send us a message. Sure. And so I think this is all for this one. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next conversation. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.